My friends who will probably never step into a mosque, I like to give you what I give my friends in the mosque because I love you and I respect you just as much as I love them. So I'm going to talk to them in about an hour, but I'll give you what I'm going to talk to them about. So I'll start as we start in the mosque. أقول إنني هداني ربي إلى صراط مستقيم الدين القيامة ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. My subject today is, do you think you will believe and not be tested like those who were tested before you? The Quran says that I'm going to try you with something of fear, hunger, loss of life, and loss of wealth to see who's true and to see who's false. I'm going to say that again. As you see, the Quran says that I'm going to try you with something of fear, hunger, loss of life, and loss of wealth to see who's true from those who are false. You see, religious people are so fascinating to me. They think that they're going to come in front of the congregation and say some magic words, and based upon those magic words, their life is all of a sudden going to change. Based upon those magic words, they think people are going to automatically respect them. They're going to automatically treat them better. They're going to automatically roll out the red carpet for them and give them some freaking candy or something. And they're going to ride off into heaven somewhere just because they say they believe. Secondly, they believe that the struggle is now over. They believe that they can curse, they lie, sex, and drink, and cheat, and steal. And just because they said some magic words, their life is going to change. See, but that is not true. The Quran says man faces not the uphill road. And then he says, the second question is, he says, and what will explain to you what the uphill road is? He said it is steep. It is long suffering. It's exhausting. Which means to get up to that hill is very difficult. He said to climb up this type of hill, your legs are going to be tired. Your legs are going to be cramping. You may suffer from dehydration. You're going to be out of breath. It means only a few people get up to that hill. Not that it's not accessible to everybody else, but only a few people are willing. Only a few people are willing to make the sacrifice to get up that hill. Most of the people want to go up that hill, but they see the people at the bottom of the hill seemingly thriving from life. You see, the people at the bottom of the hill, they're kicking it. They're having parties. They're hanging out. They're doing everything that you want to do. But you know it's not going to get you to the uphill road. It's not going to get you to the top of that hill. But most of us succumb to the jeering. Most of us succumb to peer pressure, and it doesn't stop at 18. It's still at 50. You say, most of us are not strong enough, are not courageous enough to take the uphill road because we're worried that somebody's going to talk about us. We're worried about somebody calling us a sellout. We're worrying that if I change who I am, I'm not going to be who I was. Oh man, I want you to listen to me. When you change who you are, you shouldn't want to be who you used to be. You see, this is universal values. This is not some religious talk. This is universal talk. When you're trying to get to the uphill, to the top of that hill, you can't be the same as you were when you were at the bottom of that hill. You hadn't learned how to struggle yet. You hadn't learned how to deal with the cramps in your legs yet. You hadn't learned how to deal with the dehydration and the suffering and being a heat casualty, but also understanding that none of that stuff that is happening to you is going to prevent you from getting to the top of that hill. I want you to listen to me today, because the top of that hill is your destiny. The top of that hill is where God has meant for you to be all along. But you can't be at the bottom of the hill being like everybody else. Listen. The people at the bottom of the hill are all alike. They don't want to struggle. They don't want any pain. They just want their whole lives to be of fun. And I know that you want to have fun. But if that fun is interdicting where you're supposed to be, then you are a coward. Because the future of your babies is in your hands. The future of your babies is at the top of that hill. The future of your babies is going to be dictated by you and the sacrifices you put in today. This is what we call a generational curse. You have sentencing your babies to the bottom of the hill because you don't have the testicular fortitude to do whatever it takes to get to the top of that hill, man. You see, going up on this hill reveals even your true and false friends. You see, when you're going up this hill, you're going to be leaning back. Even your real friends are going to take these two hands and they're going to put them in the small of your back and say, keep pushing, man. You can do it. Your real friends are going to encourage you, even if they don't have the courage to go up the hill themselves because they don't have the wherewithal at this time. Your real friends are going to tell you, you can do it, man. I see the best qualities in you, man. Don't quit, man. Let me hand you some water, man. Let me give you some rub for your legs that are cramping, man. Oh, I hope you hear me. Your fake friends are also going to be revealed too as you look to go up that hill. Your fake friends are going to say, oh man, look at him. He ain't going to make it up that hill. Oh man, look at him. He ain't good enough to make it up that hill. Oh man, look at him. People like him don't make it up that hill. That's your fake friends. Your fake friends want you to come down and party with them all the time. Your fake friends are hitting you in the inbox and saying, Shabazz, why are you reading all those books, man? You don't have anything better to do with your time? Your fake friends are all the ones who are telling you what you can do and what you can't do, but they don't know what's inside of you, and you don't know what's inside of you. That's why you listen to them. You see, you should never take advice from unproductive people, but you don't have the courage to tell them to sit down because you really don't have true belief. No. I want to talk to you. Oh, you walk around talking about how much you love God. You walk around quoting your scriptures from can't see morning to can't see night. But when you're faced with the uphill road, when you're faced with the tests of fear, hunger, loss of life, where is your wherewithal? Where is your faith? Everybody talking about a freaking good game, but boy, you'll know when the person is on your team. You'll know when times are tough where they are. You see, fake friends are like shadows. When the sun is up, they're all around you, but when it gets dark, you can't find them because they're not supportive of you going up the uphill road. You see, you don't have a lot of friends going up that uphill road because it's not popular. You see, you don't have a lot of friends talking about goals and aspirations and you reaching your potential because it ain't cool. Because it's more popular to talk about football, playing dominoes, and hanging out. You see, that gets you your props with man. But I thought you were of God. I thought you were working for the kingdom. I thought you were working to get to the top of that hill. You say, come on, man. You say, man, I didn't know this religious stuff was so hard. I didn't know I was going to get so lonely. I didn't know it was going to be this difficulty. We don't have fun anymore. Your big grown tail, 25, 35, 45, and even some of our brothers and sisters who are 55, that's all you talk about is having fun when generations of our babies are dying at your hands? See, at the top of that hill is your destination. At the top of that hill is all that God has put into you as far as potential. You don't have time for fun, man. You're trying to reverse years of degradation, destruction, and dysfunction in your life. That ain't fun. You're trying to reverse a generational curse that somebody has bestowed upon you without your permission. It's not going to be fun to get rid of that. It's not going to be fun to get rid of pessimistic thinking. It's not going to be fun to be hanging out by yourself alone reading books. It's not going to be fun trying to become an intelligent human being when all around you is unintelligent and have no clue that they're even dumb, deaf, and blind. You have spent years underachieving. You can barely read and comprehend from a book, but you walking around cool, talking about you deserve some respect. You see, man, when you're in the lab developing yourself and your gifts and your talent, you don't have time for fun. When you're in the lab trying to bring out what God has for you, don't tell me about some fun. When you're trying to get to the top of the hill and bring out life from darkness, life from total dysfunction, fragmentation, you don't have time to spend the majority of your time in fun. Until you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will never change. I'm going to say that again because I want you to listen to me. Until you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will never change. It is fun for me now to read, to learn, to educate myself and try to educate you. That has become my fun. It was days where I spent 6-7 hours on a basketball court trying to put a rubber ball, a leather ball through a net because somebody told me that was fun. It was days where I watched 7-8 hours of TV of foolishness because somebody told me that was fun. It was days where I was sitting down playing PlayStation, learning how to negotiate obstacles on that little football field because somebody told me that was fun. But the world was passing me by while I was having my fun, and my babies were looking at me like a boy masquerading as men because I was sentencing them to the bottom of the hill. You don't hear me. You see, it's not just about your life, mama. It's not just about your life, daddy. What are you going to pass your baby? A football jersey? What are you going to pass your baby? A Chanel bag? No. I want you to listen to me today. You're passing your baby's mediocre accomplishments, not really preparing them for the world that they're going to face. This is why our children are sentenced to death. It's not about the outside influence. It's about the influence that's inside, because they're modeling your behavior because they don't see you reaching for the uphill road. Because they see us lazy in our thinking. They see us lazy in our action. They see we take this laissez-faire attitude approach towards life, leaving generational curses to our babies because we refuse to take the uphill road. Do you think that you'll believe and not be tested like those before you who were tested? Come into this thing that we call God. Come into this thing that we have named religion. Come into this thing that we sit in a building, say some nice words, hug each other, and go out and be the same people is for amateurs. The building is supposed to revolutionize your thinking. The building is supposed to revolutionize your actions. The building that you walk into and hear the man of God or the man or woman preaching is supposed to inculcate and totally transform who you are. So when you leave out those doors, you leave them open for people to walk through them. I don't think you heard me. You see, this was the purpose of Martin Luther King. This was the purpose of Malcolm X. This was the purpose of Colin Powell. This was the purpose of all our giants, Muhammad Ali, and all those people who came before us, Jackie Robinson, Soldier of Truth, Denmark Vesey. You see, these people knew what the uphill road was, and they weren't afraid to travel it, even if it meant death, because they knew the future was in our hands. The future doesn't come from outside. The future comes from inside. The future comes from you giving your life to a cause that may not love you back. The future means giving up who you are and all that you say you are to somebody and some people who have no wherewithal of what you're bringing to them. No wherewithal of who you are. See, if you're in this thing for the respect of human beings, you should get out. If you're in this thing called religion, and all you do is practice self-negation, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't curse, so what? Are you productive? Are you productive for other human beings? Have you brung out in yourself all that God has for you? Don't tell me about your religion. I don't care about your religion. Religion has become a farce and a hiding place for people who don't want to do what is required for the education and liberation of our people. I'm going to say that again, because I want to make you mad, because I don't care. I only speak the truth to empower. Religion has become a hiding place for people who don't want to fulfill their potential. They want to say some magic words and say, oh, I believe, and now I'm going to heaven. You're hiding. And I can tell you, God is displeased with you because you have not brung out your potential. He puts you here like no other human being on earth. Your fingertips are different. Your attitude should be different. Your walk should be different. But all of you are interested in is being like everybody else. I get so much joy out of talking to human beings. I ain't like everybody else because I don't do that. Excuse me for being ethnic. It's improper. I ain't like everybody else. Yes, you are. You're doing what everybody else does. You think like everybody else does. You are producing what everybody else produces. You talk like everybody else. You think like everybody else. And so you are just like everybody else. You don't have the courage to go to the uphill, to the top of that hill. Because you know that hill is going to bring some pain. You know that hill is going to cause some dehydration. You know that hill is going to cause some leg cramps. You know that hill has a potential to break you 1,000 times. So what do? You avoid that hill. You stay safe. Because you like being safe. Because it's comfortable for you being safe. Because all of your fake friends like you being safe. All of your friends like you being docile. All of your friends like you not having any goals, so you can be just like them. Man faces not the uphill road. Do you think that you'll believe and not be tested like those people who were tested before you? The Quran says man shall have what he strives for. And his striving will soon be seen. Oh, no. I want you to listen to that. Man shall have what he strives for. And his striving will soon be seen. You don't get anything in this world unless you work your backside off for it. You don't get anything in this world unless you work, suffer, go through pain. That's the way you become great. Facing that uphill road is the way you become great. But you can't do that by always wanting to sit around and chill. Always wanting to sit around and sleep. It's okay that you do that if you're just hurting one person. It's okay if you do that, if you just want to throw your life away. I'm fine with that. But the problem is you are affecting your children who sees you being non-productive. Yet you preaching to them about a God that provides everything. You preaching to them about a God that fulfills all needs and potential. They're looking at you and say, this guy is a fool. They won't say that because they respect you, but they're looking at you saying this guy has so much cognitive dissonance, he don't know what to do with himself. He's talking about God and watching TV all day. He's talking about God and watching Sports Center for 8 hours, reruns all over the day. He's talking about God and won't read, won't educate himself. You're talking about what kind of God is that? What kind of God is that? That's what your children are saying. That's what your children are saying. They're saying this person, this God. They're saying to you, they're saying right now, oh, I need to learn how to be manipulative in God like they are. They're saying, oh, you just got to talk God and have a form of godliness. You don't really have to serve God. You don't really have to put yourself in harm's way. You don't really have to fight for injustice. You don't really have to correct people when they're calling you derogatory names. Oh, I forgive them. No, you're a coward. Somebody calling you a derogatory name and you talking about, I just don't want to upset the apple cart. You see people getting injustice done to them, and you talking about, well, when I get to a higher rank, then I can help them know you are preparing yourself right now for mediocrity, because you'll always be chasing a carrot. Unless you put yourself in harm's way right now, you will always be a coward. I love to hear people who are out of the military and who are retired at this point. They always have something to say about race. They always have something to say about black and white issues. They always have something to say about injustice with their coward selves. They didn't fight injustice while they were in. They were that's all they cared about with NCOERs and OERs. Don't tell me what's going on, because you're not facing the uphill road. You've been running all your life. Brothers and sisters, I just wanted to give you something before I go to give and talk to the believers, because I think you deserve what they deserve, because I love you as much as I love them. You want for your brothers and sisters what you want for yourself. My job is to inspire until I expire. I don't care about speaking truth to power, because God is the power. I only care about speaking truth to empower. And my life is for you. My death is for you. May God bless you and give you courage to face the uphill road. Peace and blessings. See you next time.